Hi everyone from the Mount Cookery course and maybe from other courses. Just wanted to say welcome to my video online tutorial. I thought it'd be really helpful for you guys to be using at home. And today it's going to be making our chicken curry recipe that some of you have done before, some of you might not have done, but to refresh your memory. So first things first, we'll go through the recipes that you should have been sent. So that's it, how it looks. You've got your name, date, and if you can write an aim on there, what you'd like to achieve by doing this recipe. And it might be about a skill, it might just be about getting the sequencing right in your recipe, anything that maybe you and maybe your mum or dad can set as an aim. Okay, so firstly, let's have a look at the ingredients. What ingredients do we need to get for our recipe? So the first one, the most important, because it's chicken recipe, we're going to have chicken breasts. And so where would I find those? I'd find them in my fridge. So I'm going to keep those nice and cool. We're not going to start preparing those yet. So I'm going to keep them away from everything else. In they go. Then we've got an onion. So I need my onion, here it is, and we're going to be peeling it and chopping it. Garlic cloves, here we are, I've got 2 garlic cloves. Curry powder, essential ingredient in our curry. I've just got this one, hopefully at home you've got something similar. Creme fraiche, which gives it a lovely creamy texture and a creamy taste. And this one I've actually bought a reduced fat one, so it's slightly healthier because we've all been studying about how to be healthier. Next one, if we turn our page, it is a small piece of ginger, lovely fresh ginger. So I've got a piece about this size because I like mine quite gingery, and I'll be showing you how the easiest way to peel that. Fresh coriander, beautiful, always to go in curries. You can get it from all the supermarkets. Then coconut. Now this is like a block of hard coconut, you probably remember this. So we're going to be weighing this out and we're grating that. Butter to be cooking everything up in. And then we've got some lovely cashew nuts that are going to be going into our curry as well. And then salt and pepper, just some seasoning at the end. So that is literally all our ingredients. So it's really quite simple. So then let's have a look. Next on the sheet that I sent you all is a nice clear set of equipment. So we'll just go through all of that as well. Now you remember chopping boards, really important. Slightly different to in our cookery class. So for my vegetables, I'm going to be using my green one today. Normally in class we'd use brown, but I don't have that, so we're using green. So for the meat, can you remember what colour we use? I can't hear you. Yes, well done, it is red. Fantastic, and we always prepare our meat separate away from our vegetables, okay? So we'll do that a bit later. Chopping knife. So I've got a small one for my vegetables, I'm going to keep very separate, and this one's going to be for my chicken. I don't want either of them cross-contaminating either. Saucepan, I've got my saucepan ready over by my cooker over there, we'll see later. A mixing bowl to put everything in. Weighing scales, so hopefully you've all got some form of weighing scales. I've got the ones like in cookery class, the digital ones. And tablespoon and teaspoon. Now I'm hoping again, you may have, like me, the actual proper measuring spoons. That one says 1 tablespoon and the smaller one is the teaspoon. If you don't have that, you should remember, we've been studying this in class about tablespoon and the smaller teaspoon, so you can use those if you haven't got proper measuring. Then we need a timer. Now I haven't got the nice cookery timers that we use, so I'm going to just be using my phone and trying to find the nice rainbow timer on there. So that's it, I've got my equipment, I've got my ingredients, so let's get started. Okay, so I'm just about to start the actual making, the preparation of the dish. So I just want to explain here, in your packs that you're sent, you'll have received, there's a written copy of this recipe and there's a visual copy of it. You can use either, whichever one you're comfortable with. If you feel you'd really like to push yourself and try the reading element, you can do it just on the written one. Again, I've given you all the ingredients, you've got a tick list here at the side, and then you've got your method with all here, each step, sequencing, and a tick box when you've achieved it. So you can still do this, but it's really to embed all those lovely literacy skills. Otherwise, you know this one, it's the visual, my visual method, and again I've made it really clear for you every step of the way, and you just tick in your side box there when you've achieved that. So let's start. So the first bit on the preparation is to peel and chop the onion. Now, I hope you'll excuse me, I'm going to sit down for this because it's a bit easier. So we know all this. Hopefully you can do this without the old eyes watering, which we sometimes have the problem of in the class. Although we did find a little top tip while I'm doing this is actually if you put your onion in the freezer for about 10 minutes before, apparently it stops the eyes watering. So I'm just going to put all my bits to the side there. So peeling and chopping using my bridge. I've done it in half to begin with, and then bridge again, chop. So it's no particular, it's not chopping or dicing, it's just chopping into no particular size. So there we go, you can see that. I'm going to pop it into my bowl. There. So that's that done. Now it's peeling and crushing the garlic. So it said two pieces of garlic. Now I've lost my ingredients. No, there we go. Two garlic cloves. So the way I do it is just top and tail them and then peel it with the knife. But I know some of you guys like to actually peel it with your fingers. Oh, I can feel the sting of the onions already. Right, 2 cloves, that's that done. I'll put them in there and I'll crush those later. Curry powder, well, I'll be measuring that later when I actually put it in. And then we've got the 60 mils of creme fraiche. So this is actually 300 mils. So I've actually got a 60 milliliter really useful little measuring tub here. So I'm going to just scoop it in. There we are. So that's 60 mils. It's going to just go into a pot and I'll use that later. So you may have some other measuring stuff, or just estimate it judging by whatever size pot you've got. So that's that, creme fraiche done. Okay, ginger. Best way, cut it in half, for peeling ginger is with actually a teaspoon. So we've done this in class again. So just pull it towards you, you're just pulling the skin, and this way you don't waste any of that beautiful ginger that you want. So it's really, once you get the knack of it, you can do it. But it's pulling towards you. Might have to get somebody to help you with this because you need a little bit of strength in that hand. Can you see what I'm doing? So I'm just pulling it gently towards me. And that's it, look how easy it is. And I'm hardly wasted any of the beautiful, healthy ginger bits. I'm going to put that there. Now for grating it, you use the small, tiny little size. You don't want thick pieces, you want it really small and crushed. Be very careful to move your fingers away from the grater because it can be a really nasty little cut. So there we are. You might get left with these little ends. They're a bit fibrous, so we can throw them away. I'm just going to get a little bowl to put those in. There we are. So that's all the ginger crushed. That's lovely. So that's my ginger. Next, coriander. So it says here 2 tablespoons of fresh coriander. So I'm just going to pull off a bunch here. Give it a quick wash. So I've washed my coriander. So I'm just going to chop it using my fingers in a bridge, pushing the coriander down so it doesn't move around, and really small chopping. I don't want it big and chunky, I want it nice and small. You may well have a herb cutter, which is absolutely brilliant, but if not, you can just use a knife. So I'm just going to keep that, that's in my, it's probably a little bit more than 2 tablespoons, but I personally like a lot of coriander. So the next one, that's my coriander, ginger, onions done, and the creme fraiche. So the next bit is we're going to be cutting up the creamed coconut. So it comes in here like this in a block. All the supermarkets, really easy to find. And this is actually 200 grams. So I'm looking for 50 grams. So if you think about it, guys, that whole thing is 200. So if I half it, what would it be? Any ideas? Big maths question there. So that would be 100. And if I half 100 again, that will give me 50. So if you haven't got scales, it's a really good, you can just sort of estimate how much 50 grams is. But I have got my scales here. So I'm going to clean that down. I'm going to cut that, and it's what we call a quarter. Let's see how close I am. 59. Okay. Well, I'm not going to be worried about that 9 actually. So I'm going to grate that. Peel this off. We don't want peeling plastic. This is what's going to give it a lovely creamy. So this time I am using the big side of the grater, I want the big fat. And as you know, I like to stand up and do all of these things because it gives a little bit more strength. If I'm sitting down doing this, I'm all at the same level. So I would suggest, like we do in the barn kitchen, stand up to do all these and be, again, careful with your fingers. Don't want any nasty accidents. Okay, so that is the coconut done. Pop that into another little bowl. So I'm looking for 25 grams of butter. So I've got my whiteboard to cut the butter. I've taken a new knife. I'm going to estimate what 25 is. That might be a little bit too much. Let's look on the scales. Yes, 48. So that is too high. That's pretty good. Okay, so I'll just leave that on the side there, and I can put my butter back in the fridge to stop it melting. Then the next one is, well, I thought this might be the last ingredient, it's the cashew nuts. These delicious cashew nuts. So we only want 25 grams of these as well. Okay, so I'll just, let's not going to be many. So if you want to have a look, there we are, 26, 25. Okay, so now to preparation of the chicken. So actually I've moved myself, you'll notice I've moved myself away from the other preparation so I keep raw meat away from any of the other vegetables. So, red board, and it's 4 chicken fillets. So this time we are going to be dicing them. So if you remember what dice are, they're like little square boxes. So the way I do it is have my 1 chicken fillet, and then I'm going to cut it down into about 3. Because really you want nice bite size. You don't want too big, but you don't want too small. And try and just do my little bridge here, keep the chicken from moving around the board. Just pop it straight into a bowl. So just trying to do like a sort of bite-sized chicken cube. And I find cutting it into 3 is the best way, the easiest. There we go, 1, 2, 3, and if you get fancy, you can actually even do them together like I'm doing. I'm doing that for speed. That looks a bit thick, so I'm going to do it again. There we are. That's 2. This is quite a big one. Be very careful with whatever knife you're using with this chicken. As usual, your safety and health is important. There we are, we're nearly there. So, and as we know before, we've discussed, the chicken breast is one of the leaner pieces of meat that you can have. So it's hardly got any fat on it. So it's really a good option when you're wanting to make your own homemade curry. Use the chicken fillets rather than chicken thighs, a little bit more fat on them. So these are great if we're trying to just be good for our health. There we are, we're nearly done. And then you know what I'm going to say is, what's the most important thing once I finish chopping my chicken? Yes, that's right. I can hear you all shouting at me saying you've got to wash your hands. So I'm just going to get rid of this first because it's still got chicken on it. Pop that in the bin. Always keep nice and tidy. Then I'm over to the sink because I've touched the raw meat. So I'm going to give them a good wash now. And then once we've done this, we're ready. Where's the water? We're ready to start cooking our curry. So now onto the method and the actual cooking. So in our saucepan, I've put my 25 grams of butter. So I'm just putting that to melt. And we're going to be frying the onion and garlic in this butter for about 5 minutes. So what I need is I'm going to get my timer ready on my phone. There it is, it's all ready to go. Once my butter melts, I'm just going to stand over it. So you need obviously your wooden spoon. I've got my onion ready. What I do need to do is get my crusher ready for my garlic and a knife. All my other ingredients are nicely to hand. Measuring spoons. And my chicken well out of the way. Again, because I don't want it to be sort of near or contaminating any of the other ingredients. So that's looking nice and melting now. So I'm just going to crush garlic in. I find this the easiest. And don't forget, garlic's so good for us, especially at the moment, to build up our strength. And then in go the onions. So it's always the base of any curry that you do. Onions will always be at the beginning of it. There we are. Make sure my bowls all go away. So, just going to turn. So I need to put a little extraction on. And I think these onions have been okay. So let's start with my timer. There we go. It's even got a little bit of music playing. So I'm going to just let this go now for 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm down to 15 seconds, getting nice and soft. I'm just carrying on stirring. And then we'll listen out for our little beeper. There we go. Didn't quite beep, but anyway, it's finished. So now we're going to add our chicken, which has been sitting over there. And if you look in my recipe, it says add the chicken until it has browned. So, browning the chicken, stand and stir it over. You will start to see, if you look here, even now, some of the bits of chicken are starting to go white. So we're going to wait until those have all gone brown. I haven't put a time on this because depending on what heat you've got, it could take you 15 minutes, it could take you 10 minutes, but don't put it up too high because what you'll do is you'll just cook on the outside, but it'll be raw on the inside. So I would say normally, I might tone mine down, about a sort of a 3 or 4. I've got electric, but keep an eye on it. Don't walk away and leave it because that's when things, you know, can get burnt. And I'll come back and show you. So this is how it starts. It looks at the beginning. And then we shall compare that to what actually brown chicken is. Okay. We've got the chicken cooked now and it's gone to a nice cooked and browning colour. So we carry on with our recipe and now we're going to stir in the curry powder. So it was 2 tablespoons. There we go. There's one nice big one. Curry powder. There we go. That's lovely. We'll give that a nice stir. Get all the chicken coated. Really nice aromas and smells now of the curry. And if we turn over our page on the recipe now, we're going to be adding the ginger. So we've got it all thankfully already. In it goes. Give that a small mix. Really starting to smell lovely now. And then it's time for me to add in the cashew nuts. And then we cook again for 5 minutes. So I'm going to get the old rainbow timer again. There we go. So we let that cook gently for 5 minutes. Okay, so we've only got 17 seconds left. So we've just been sitting with the cashews, the curry powder and the chicken for 5 minutes cooking. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Brilliant. So now we're going to be adding in the creamed coconut. So in it goes. So this is going to give it the lovely creamy texture. And then we turn our page. We also add in the crème fraîche. And it goes. Little mix round. And pop a little bit of salt and pepper in. Just a small bit. Now at this point, actually you may want a little bit more liquid in it, so you can either add some water in or a little bit more creme fraiche. So for this one, I'm going to add in a little bit of water, a bit more liquid into it. Nice consistency that we want, and now we just bring it to the boil, and then after it gets to that boil, we're going to then lower it right down and simmer it with a lid on for 30 minutes, and then it's going to be ready to eat. Now we've got it up to the boiling. I'm going to turn it right down to a lovely low simmer. Take my spoon out, I'm going to leave my lid on, and then pop my 30-minute timer on. There we go. And then after 30 minutes we'll be ready to go. Okay, so we're nearly up to our 30 minutes of the curry simmering. So we're nearly ready to eat it. I've got 1 second, so I'm going to turn it off. Like that. And now what you do, stir in the coriander. And this goes right at the end, otherwise it goes really wilted. So I'm leaving a little bit back just to serve on top. And that goes in. It's another nice, authentic curry flavouring. So I'm serving it for my family, which I will be tonight. I'm just decanting it into a nice serving dish. There we are. And then I'm just going to sprinkle over some more fresh coriander to serve. And then what I'm going to serve with it, with mine tonight, for my family, is this with some nice, healthier basmati brown rice. So you could do that, or just with a naan or some poppadoms. So we've done a lovely chicken curry recipe, all of us together. So before I sign off, at the end of your packs, I've written out a little worksheet here that's all about reflection, which would be really good if you can sit and write some of it or speak some of it to your family. Just to remember, you know, think about what ingredients you use, the equipment, what skills, and when you're going to do this again, especially for those doing it for btec, what do you need to remember to do next time, and what went well, what could you add in, or what could you change? But I'm sure it's going to be absolutely brilliant. So I'd like to see some of your photos. Maybe you can send, get mums, dads, brothers, sisters to send me photos. That would be really lovely. So for now, it's been strange doing this to you, not having my lovely cookery students with me, but that is Chef Becky's final chicken curry product. So it's Chef Becky signing out to you, wishing you well, and take care, and lots of love to you, and I'll see you all soon. If you'd like another YouTube video, then let me know. Goodbye.